What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-hosts, Josh and John Luke. What's up, boys?
Not much. How you doing?
Me or Josh? I was waiting for Josh to say something.
I was waiting for you. It felt like more like a question for you. You know, he asked you, you asked him, but I'm doing great.
He was responding in interpretive dance. That was Josh's way of communicating. It's his love languages.
This is how I feel right now.
That reminds me of one time I was in Orlando and my girlfriend and I got an Uber, and on the Uber page it'll list things, or maybe it was a Lyft, but it listed fluent in Portuguese, Spanish, Mandarin, English. It listed 12 different languages, and I was really intrigued. And so I got in the car and I asked them you speak all these languages? That's crazy. Where did you pick those up? Did you do a lot of traveling? Did you grow up in a multinational household? He said, well, I'm a professional dancer, and dance is a language that can speak to everyone.
Oh my
God.
I
put all those languages.
So that's like a Michael Scott moment. That is so funny.
Yeah, wait. I feel like he was lying now. I feel like he doesn't speak anything at all.
I just was cracking up. I let him. I kept going with it. I fed into it, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. I wanted to just keep him talking about it for the whole Uber ride. It was
universal.
It was the last thing I expected him to say was, I'm a professional dancer. And that can speak to people of all languages.
I love that.
It can. There's not many things out there that you're not looking for the end, the end result. There's dancing and there's music. There might be a couple of other things, but it's just enjoying the process. So I understand where you're coming from. Cooking, but it's a little bit about the end. That's about the end. It's about the end, the final finish of it, and dancing and music aren't quite. I'm getting a little philosophical.
It's about the journey. That's what you're saying.
It's about the journey. Exactly. It's about the experience. I'm doing it. I digress.
You digress. What's up, Ricky? He's in there. He says, Ariel, Z2, liking my shirt as well.
And I don't know why I didn't say anything. I came in here and I meant to say something, but you were muted. You had me muted when we first started talking. That shirt is fire. I guess that's the only way I had.
Hannah Montana as Ariel?
It is Miley Cyrus as Ariel, yes.
So yes.
Yes. You could have just said yes.
It's a full print, same thing on the back too. It's a statement piece. What's up, Brady? Glad you could be here. Jay wants to know, is this a cry for help?
What, the shirt?
Yeah, the shirt is a cry for help. And what's up, Jeff? Glad to have you in here. Today, guys.
Jeff number 2.
Oh yeah,
Jeff number 2. Josh, yesterday, I don't know if you saw it in one of our group messages. Somebody was just like, Simon, Jay, are you there? Someone please answer my question. Dan, he was like, why do we call Jeff Josh?
Josh Jeff, but yes.
No, but he asked the other one.
Yes,
he asked,
actually, I didn't realize
why do we
I
call
Jeff
Josh?
I almost answered seriously, giving him the backstory, and then I was like, you know what? I'm running with this.
No, it was perfect answer. I've always wanted my name to be Jeff, and it's always been Josh, and Jeff's just a better name. So
Z2 says it's not a call for help, it's the climb for help.
That
was Miley Cyrus song.
That was good. That was good.
Brady correcting his typo. He said here instead of here. Well, we're glad you're here hearing us here.
Brady, I do that stuff all the time. I mean, I realize it after the fact, and you're like, what am I supposed to correct it? But just don't worry about it.
What's up, Jordan? How's it going? Glad to have you in here. Sorry, excuse me. Jordan was on yesterday. If you guys missed that, go back and watch the stream on our YouTube.
Yeah.
It's on there. All of our old shows are on there, but you can go watch Jordan specifically. He had a whole fan club in here cheering him on. So I know you guys are pining for more Jordan content. So if you missed it, go check it out. It's on our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy. You can follow it, subscribe to us there. Then you can also follow us on Twitch, Front Yard Fantasy, and our Twitter as well. Front Yard FYF is where you can find all of that. Jay giving bravo to Z2.
Golf clap, not actual clap. Golf clap. Yeah.
It's a golf clap. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm wearing your golf shirt, though.
That's true. What am I doing? I got a couple of them over there. Should I throw one on real fast? No. I like
tomorrow. You're taking a day off the links. Jordan says he's recovering. He's going to recover from getting dominated in pole perception yesterday. It's a long recovery period, but whenever you're good to go again, let us know.
We would love to have you on again. Listen, pole perception. We talk about this all the time. It's tough. Pole perception can be tough. If you gotta take that personal bias out, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but if you can't take that personal bias out and like understand what the general population's thinking, then you're not going to be very good at ball perception. And we weren't very good at the beginning until we played like 40 games now.
And Z2 says you still won. You got a sick new desktop background. Yeah, Z2 always putting out fire backgrounds for people. If you name a player you like, Z2's like, I'm on it. I got it.
Z2's
Josh, I know JL had to step out for a minute, but today, just so everybody knows, we are playing tiers. We're going back to our game tiers that we started last week. Last week we did the first half of tiering every NFL team for fantasy purposes. So not how good they are, but for fantasy purposes, how good are they? So it's not a power rankings of like how we think they're going to do, just their fantasy outcome or what they can contribute to your fantasy team.
They're fantasy players. Like every NFL team has fantasy players. I'm a Ravens fan. Lamar Jackson, great fantasy player. Marquise Brown, he's pretty fine. J.K. Dobbins, he's great. So yeah, we just kind of add up, based on science and determine who are the best fantasy teams.
Z2 says just change the name from tiers to arguments. So we're gonna finish up. We're gonna finish up tiering those NFL teams, and then we're going to have a very controversial tier list. We're gonna be tiering fruits. I know we got some smoothie lovers in here that might have some hot fruit takes.
Smoothies are my favorite meal. I know that sounds weird, but
maybe not meal, but I really like smoothies.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna take a smoothie over a freaking steak filet mignon dinner, okay?
But take a smoothie over a filet mignon.
Oh yeah, you're
as would I. I don't eat beef.
Whatever.
Where's the beef, Angus?
Brady said, if you haven't seen it, Steelers are officially bringing Big Ben back for 2021.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Probably good for the wide receivers.
Signed and everything, contract, like figured out, because I know they wanted to restructure his contract. I didn't see if that happened. I know they mentioned. Yeah, go ahead.
Don't just Google Big Ben. You'll get nothing but clock stuff. It says 1 hour ago, signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the 2021 NFL season.
That's awesome. I did not see that.
So if you're going to Google it for Big Ben news, make sure you type in Big Ben Steelers or Big Ben NFL. Otherwise, you're just
Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, but there's a reason people call him Big Ben.
No one can spell his last name.
It's freaking hard to spell, man. Or it's just a lot of letters. Jordan says he would love to be on for a kicker mock draft. Yeah, cool. Next time, whenever we do a kicker mock draft, we'll make sure to let you know whenever that is. Sure. Yeah. So
keep an eye on the mail.
You're never going to come on, Jordan. Sorry.
Ricky says, well, you don't eat beef. I am out. Ricky, I got bad news for you. 2/3 of the people on this stream don't eat beef.
Hey, for Ricky, me, like, guess what? I eat enough beef for the rest of them. So maybe I can make up the beef content here. I don't know.
The beef content. Josh is our beef expert on stream.
Resident beef expert. Mm-hmm. Medium rare, always.
Always. Expert.
Yeah, I just don't eat beef. It's not that I don't really like it. It just messes up my stomach so bad, and I don't love it. So like with cheese also messes up my stomach, but I love it, so I eat it. Beef screws me up, but I don't like it that much. So just cut that right on out. Jordan says CBS reported Seattle is actually taking trade offers for Wilson. We'll see. I'm not sure if that's gonna lead anywhere. I would bet money. Like if I had to bet money on one side, I would say he's gonna stay in Seattle, but it'll be fun to watch over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It will be fun. I mean, this is going to be the most exciting, I think, NFL offseason we've ever had. I mean, last offseason was pretty exciting, different. It was weird. Some things happened, COVID. But this season, we understand what we're getting into with COVID and everything. And the salary cap's going down. So there's going to be some people that are cut. And it's going to be fun to talk about.
G-Man J was agreeing, always medium rare. Sorry, go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just going to say, I feel like the next few weeks are all the DK Metcalf managers are going to be sweating.
And Ricky says Wilson to Chicago. That would be wild. That would be absolutely wild. Bears fans yet again. They're just connected to all of these rumors.
Yeah.
Getting their hopes up with every quarterback that's looking for a new team. Ricky says this offseason is going to be nuts. People keep asking me for predictions, and I'm like, yeah, 100% agree. I'm just like, wait and see, and then I'll tell you what I think about it afterwards. I can give you some base predictions, but I don't know enough to like confidently say where I think these players are going to end up. Brady says, when does NFL free agency start?
I don't know the exact day. Let's look that up. But here's the reason. Look, Pat just came in with the salary cap reducing so
March
many stars
17th.
on new teams next year, and that's what I was about to say. The salary cap is reducing. People, the teams just aren't gonna have enough money to pay these players. They're gonna have to make cuts. They're gonna have to cut players that are good in fantasy football, just to make room for defensive players, people that we don't really care about in a fantasy context. But man, it's going to be interesting.
I mean, we've already seen like Kyle Van Noy get cut by the Dolphins. Like that's a bit shocking right there. Know what I mean? Like, and we're going to see more and more players of that caliber get cut. And Pat said March 17th.
Absolutely.
That's right. I double checked.
And Ricky says that's because we haven't had a QB since 1857. That's the last time the Bears had a good QB.
You could have.
You could have had Deshaun
Don't
Watson.
give the Bears fans that. They know they could add Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, and they chose Mitch Trubisky. They've had to suffer through this for 4 years now. So, but I'm excited. I'm excited for free agency.
Me too. It should be fun. I've been getting like this week. This is around the time last year, like the conference tournaments for college basketball are ramping up. Like we're approaching the NFL draft. Everyone's getting excited about the NCAA tournament. And it was this time last year when COVID was like, all sports are done, like just canceled.
Yeah. March.
March. Yeah. I'm just like getting like flashbacks to like, I remember watching college basketball and then they were just like, okay, never mind. We're not doing this game. Like at halftime, they just changed their mind and then there was no more sports. And like that was just the end of it. Like you were watching college basketball, and then they, in the middle of the game, were just like, "Wait, never mind." So I'm excited for the tournament, but every time I'm just thinking about like what went down last year around this time. Yeah. This is when it all got crazy. Ricky says, "Quit smirking, JL." Ricky, JL lives in a constant state of smirk.
I got the one.
He's just always smirking.
When I first read that, I thought he was saying smoking in a weird way, like just saying he's like, you know, he's fried, you know, quit smoking, JL, you know.
My bad, guys. Help it.
Okay, guys. Last week we started tiering NFL teams based on their value for fantasy, like the best NFL teams for fantasy. So far, we've got the Chiefs in the S tier. I mean, we had some debate around it, but I'll just do a rundown. We've got Chargers, Browns, Bucks, and Cowboys in the A tier. Bengals, Bills, and Cardinals in the B tier. Colts, 49ers, Bears, and Broncos in the C tier. And Jets down there in F, all alone right now. But we've got some more teams.
Yet, huh?
No D teams yet. But we've got some teams to jump into now. I say we go in order. Up next, we've got the Miami Dolphins.
Miami.
This one's tough. Honestly, there's Tua, Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, and then blank at running back. Like after the NFL draft, maybe this is a more exciting team for fantasy. But for right now, like it's not on Jets level. But I would maybe put the Dolphins in the D tier. Like there's some interesting pieces, but nothing I'm super hyped about.
Let me ask you this: where do you put Myles Gaskin if they don't get someone?
That's exactly what I was going to bring up, JL. Thank you.
You're welcome, John.
Because if they don't bring in anyone, Myles Gaskin is a top running back 2, right? I think so. He's going to get a ton of receptions, so he's going to be great for a PPR league. And then last year, it shows the Dolphins showed they wanted to utilize one running back. So that's why people are so excited about Aaron Jones going there, Najee Harris going there. So if they don't get one of these top tier running backs going there, I love Myles Gaskin.
I think it's the team. It's the that spot essentially. You fill in whatever name you want. It gets more exciting, but there's opportunity there.
Yes.
But I mean, like I think at the most I view Gaskin as an RB2. Know what I mean? Like at best, that's how I view it. So we were talking an RB2, a low end tight end 1, and then a prove it quarterback.
Who's good for super flex dynasty leagues.
Right.
Yeah. This team's not they don't have the fantasy starters we're looking for. I would go D.
I think it's a tier below these other teams as far as like people I'm excited to draft. Joe, what do you think? D, or are you leaning more C?
I think D is right where they belong, because I'm just thinking like each of the C teams has like solid starters at least at one of the positions.
Right.
I think Miami's a step away from that, and they'll be good, but they're not quite on the Jets level. Like I'm excited for the Dolphins.
Yeah, completely agree. Ricky says he would not throw that kind of shade at you, JL. He was saying that is not the kind of shade he's throwing. He's just throwing shade on your stupid sport.
Well, hold on a sec. He said publicly, so he would throw that shade on you.
Right, privately.
Just in a private context.
Yeah. Write me a letter.
Brady said Clemson's basketball team is worse than normal this year. It depends what normal is. They're going to make the tournament. And for most of my years at Clemson, they did not make the tournament.
There was that one time they beat Duke.
Yep, they beat Duke. That was one of my favorite. I don't even think they made the tournament that year. I think they were an NIT team that year. But yeah, I get excited when Clemson basketball even makes the tournament because there were a lot of years, and I spent a lot of years at Clemson where they did not make the tournament. What's up, Sean?
A lot of years at Clemson.
I spent 6 full years there.
A lot of years there.
Jay says, let's not talk about that one. Doesn't want to talk about the time Clemson beat Duke.
God,
Duke was number
Duke fan.
Jay's a big Duke fan. Clemson was Duke was number 2 in the country when they came to Little John Coliseum on Clemson's campus, and an unranked bad Clemson team took them down, and it was beautiful.
Little John.
So I know Alabama is killing it this year, but there's really not that many schools that ever have like a really good football team, perennial, and basketball team, right? Am I wrong about that? I can't think of any.
Well, there was the period with Ohio State and Florida. Remember that when we were like in high school?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I do.
I think they played for the national title in both sports that year. They played each other, if I remember correctly. But there was a time period where both of them had pretty dominant basketball and football programs.
You're right.
Yeah,
I just mean both, consecutively. Like, it's just like you don't like think of they're either a football school or they're a basketball school, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
Duke, Kentucky.
Michigan State had some decent years in football and then great years in basketball. I don't know.
Tennessee good at basketball?
Tennessee has been great at basketball. They were good last year. I don't know if they are this year, but Munder Difflin says, "Other 2 of you, JL, you're everywhere."
JL literally was just like for 2 hours. It was just moderating the whole
Clubhouse.
What were you doing? Yeah, Clubhouse. You did a great job, JL.
Ricky Butt said, all I heard was Dookie. Yeah, I'm not a big Duke fan. My freshman year of college in my public speaking class, we had to give persuasive speeches on whatever we wanted. And I did mine on why you should hate Duke basketball.
I like that one.
And halfway through, I ripped my note cards in half and threw them. And then we had a player from the team in our class, from the Clemson team, Sidi Jete. Dude's like 6'11", like just this giant. And I pulled him up to the front of the class and started like interviewing him, like asking him questions in front of the class, and it was the best speech I've ever given.
I gotta ask, did you plan on ripping up those note cards?
No, not at all. I truly got caught up in like the heat of the moment and like the passion of hating Duke basketball, and I saw City there, and like a lot of these points I was making would have been really great to get like a player's perspective who had played against them, and so I just ripped the note cards and I was like, City, get up here.
That could have been like just a truly cinematic moment or totally cringeworthy.
What if City had been like, no, I'm going to stay in my seat.
I'm good, man. Really no, but that's actually hilarious.
Z2 says, well, we know who Simon has winning his March Madness bracket. Yeah, probably. It's all for fun anyways. So
I think I did that the last time Clemson was in the tournament. It didn't work out.
Jay says, I don't like you very much right now, Simon.
See, I grew up a Maryland fan, when
Me too.
When Maryland was still in
Maryland and Duke
in the ACC, and Maryland Duke basketball was like the biggest thing. My brother played football for Maryland. One of my favorite games ever was when they played Duke and beat them in double overtime.
Yeah, I remember that guy. I remember exactly what game you're talking about.
Yeah, it was. I remember that it was on the paper the next day, and there's a dude hanging from the net, and I was like at the game watching the guy hang from the net. It's like, oh man. Dude's hanging from the net.
Man. That's awesome. That's
cool. Awesome. Tim says, well, I don't know the context, but I strongly disagree with your Dolphins opinion.
He said we like
it. Fantasy context. They're a good team, but
disagree.
And Brady did
Brady
did a leadership presentation about Master Chief in high school.
God.
That's actually awesome. Really cool. That's really
Jay's
cool.
Jay's just trying to poke you a little bit, JL. How about the Miracle Minute, JL? You like that?
Never heard of her.
Yeah, you're gonna have to educate us on that one. And for anyone interested in the anti-Duke basketball takes I'll post the anti-Duke manifesto on my Twitter prior to the NCAA tournament occurring. That way everyone can read it. It's an excellent read.
Also be sure to tune into his 3-hour-long live stream on anti-Duke propaganda.
See, the other thing, if Clemson's in, I put them winning. If Duke's in the tournament, I put them losing in the first round every time. And one of my favorite sports memories ever, I was in Charleston with a friend who was touring like the medical school there. and it was during the first round of the NCAA tournament, and Duke was playing Lehigh. Lehigh was a 15 seed, Duke was a 2 seed, and I just found this like random beach bar and sat down and ordered like boiled peanuts while she went and toured the school, and I watched Lehigh take down Duke in this random beach bar in Charleston, and it was just like surreal. It was beautiful. It was like a transcendental experience.
Transcendental.
Jay says blocked. And Ricky says, "Oh, you like Master Chief? I'll let go of the beef for now." We got to keep ranking these teams, guys. Up next is the Eagles. Jail, you want to give us a little bit of a breakdown of what that looks like from the top level?
Sure. We got Jalen Hurts. We got Jalen Reagor. Is Alshon still there? Did they release him?
They released him, I believe.
They released him. Okay. Travis Fulgham. Miles Sanders, I like.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Travis Fulgham's got to be Miles Sanders has got to be the best asset.
Has to be the best. Dallas Goedert, which is like, is Zach Ertz
good.
Still signed with them?
Very good.
I
think Zach Ertz is still there, but there's rumors. There's rumors flying.
Yeah, so I don't know that changes it a ton because I think for fantasy, him being there kind of makes it limits both of them.
Yeah,
I think they're probably a D as well. I don't know. I could see them being a C, but I think what, maybe they're C because if I'm like comparing them to the Dolphins, I feel like Reagor and Miles Sanders is, considerably better than anyone on the Dolphins right now.
And Goddard, I even think like Goddard is comparable to Gesicki. Maybe you're even more excited for him. And then Miles Sanders is just leaps and bounds ahead of Gaskin for me.
Yeah.
Goddard is ahead of Gesicki in my mind. I love Gesicki. He's one of my favorite like sleeper tight ends. I don't even know if he's a sleeper technically, but I think he could have a really good year. But Goddard, if they don't have Ertz, I like him a lot.
This is a tough C tier. Tim says I'll fight you if we put him above the Dolphins, but I think it's a C for me.
Fight us either way.
Yeah, C. I think C makes sense.
We're all in agreement there. C tier.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we've got the Atlanta Falcons. Josh, you want to give the little rundown here?
Yeah, I mean the Falcons. They got Matt Ryan, who's an aging, very good quarterback. I'm hesitant to say great, but a perennial quarterback number one. But he has his down seasons. It seems like every other year he has a great season, then a not so great season. But then you got the running back situation. We really have no idea what that looks like. They had Todd Gurley last year. They decided they didn't really like him. They used Brian Hill. So we'll see what that looks like. So it's not great. Julio Jones though. Let's get to the meat of this, right? Julio Jones, Hayden Hurst, Calvin Ridley. They got some good assets.
How are you going to say Hayden Hurst before Calvin Ridley?
I'm sorry. I do apologize. I do apologize to Calvin Ridley specifically. But, man.
Let's look at where
do we rank them?
I don't know. Running back is useless for fantasy on the Falcons right now. There's not a single running back on that team I'm even drafting. Like in a redraft league, like I'm not drafting a running back on that team right now. I'm sure they'll address it. But then at wide receiver, they've got two elite options. Julio and Calvin Ridley, I think will both be great for fantasy next year. And then tight end, I'm not in love with, but I'm fine with Hayden Hurst.
Russell Gage even.
Russell Gage, yeah, there you go. There's another good third wide receiver option. And Matt Ryan's a fine quarterback option. RFL Red Zone said, excuse me, how the hell are the Colts a C tier?
What do you think they should be, Red Zone?
Yeah, tell us what you think. Are you a Colts fan?
I think we went back and forth with B and C whenever we did this. Yeah, we did it last week. I think the big reasoning was it's Jonathan Taylor and then
Hines.
But as far as like people that you're excited about drafting.
Top level, yes.
Like Jonathan Taylor's yeah. There's a bunch of question marks. There's a bunch of question marks at wide receiver. There's a question mark at quarterback, huge question mark at tight end. So this isn't talent. If you're just tuning in, for everyone watching, if you just tuned in, we're not ranking like the best NFL teams. We're not saying these teams are the best. It's the best for fantasy. So it's a quantity and quality thing. And with the Colts, it's Jonathan Taylor and then a bunch of question marks. And that's why they ended up in C tier.
And those question marks are good for dynasty, but we're focused
for 2021. Yeah,
I like the rookie talent a lot at wide receiver, but we still have yet to see it.
Yeah, we got to see Pittman and Campbell.
Yeah, I'm comparing it to like the Cardinals or the Bills,
or even the Bengals.
Who have like solid. It just seems like at least one solid person who we know is great.
T. Higgins proved so much more than Michael Pittman did this previous season.
And then they've got Tyler Boyd on top of it.
And Tyler Boyd, Joe Burrow.
Right.
All these options are better.
Drew Sample.
So that's it. Like, would I take Jonathan Taylor over Joe Mixon? Absolutely. But that's it. That's the only option. Like, if you look at every other position, I'm taking the Bengals player over the Colts player. Now, do I think the Colts are a better team than the Bengals? Yes. I think the Colts are a better team than the Bengals, but that doesn't mean for fantasy that the Colts are better. Says at least B. Z2 says, I think you can push B tier just based on the wide receiver ADPs. Tim said, we just going to ignore our incoming rookies, or
we just don't know who they're going to get.
Yep.
Yes, we're going to ignore that.
100%, Tim. That's exactly what we're doing.
If they go offensive line or some other position, then our tier list is bunk.
Okay, maybe we're like, oh yay, Myles Gaskin has better offensive line, but probably not.
Ricky said, for Colts, are we comfortable starting anyone but JT? Not yet. Pittman could move that later. 100%. That's where I am as well. JT's the only one I'm comfortable starting. Maybe Hines.
In a Superflex league, Carson Wentz, yes. But outside of that, it's quarterback 2, not 1. Yeah,
low end QB 2. I think Hines is a fine flex play, especially in deeper dynasty leagues.
Yeah, I think we purposely put them. Z2 said Kyle Pitts to Cincy would make them an A, no doubt. Honestly, maybe. That would be fantasy relevant players at every single position.
Yeah, it would.
That's wild.
I don't want to see that.
Okay. The Falcons. We were back on this. Julio and Calvin. Let's see. RFL says you're basing Wentz on one season. That's a mistake.
No, yeah, I mean, go back and watch when we broke down the Colts, because I think that we dove into that a little bit of just like, we're accounting for the fact that he could come back to form, but there's still uncertainty. We don't know that he's going to come back to form, right? It's like less certain than, Josh Allen, doing well this next year. And so that little bit of uncertainty just kind of changes it in relativity to the other teams. But
Carson Wentz was really bad last year.
He was.
Yeah.
And it's a confidence thing and mental too. And so like, there's a chance that he won't be good this year, not that he'll never be good again, but
it'll be a better situation.
Definitely check that out, because I think we broke it down further, in more detail.
And I think we do have to just get to this, like Brady said.
Brady said y'all aren't going to make it to the fruits.
Let's bang them out. Let's bang them out.
Oh God, yeah.
So the Falcons, I'm sitting between B and C tier for them, but I think they're like multiple options at wide receiver kind of push them to the B tier. There's Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Hayden Hurst is a fine start, and then Matt Ryan's a startable quarterback. I'm leaning B, but I'm fine with C. What do you guys think?
Do you have a strong opinion, JL? Because I'm right in between B and C myself.
That's literally where I'm living. I think C, honestly. I think C is the move for me.
Okay. I was sitting right there, but it's really just the wide receivers are the only elite options.
Yeah.
Right. Football team.
We've got the Washington football team. Here we've got Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, Logan Thomas you could talk about, and then question mark at quarterback and everywhere else. But Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson is worth something. You know what I mean? Those are two good options. But if we're going to put
no QB, really.
Yeah, no QB. That's probably seems like C again for me.
C tier seems like it's going to be loaded up. Hey, NBA Riggs back. What's up? I miss you too, you beautiful.
What's up, NBA?
Missed you mocking on Monday.
I assume you're human. I don't know.
I'm thinking C for Washington football team because it's Terry and Antonio, and we don't know who's going to be throwing the ball. That affects Terry's value. Could affect Gibson's value as well if he improves as a pass catcher.
Yeah, I think C's fair.
I think C's very fair, and we might have a large C tier here. They're higher up in the C tier though, in my opinion.
Yeah, we can rearrange it. Now the New York Football Giants. We've got Daniel Jones at quarterback, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard at wide receiver, Evan Ingram at tight end, and then we're forgetting the headliner here. I don't know why I saved him for last. Saquon Barkley at running back.
Oh man. Saquon, I feel like is the saving grace here. Like,
I mean, it's kind of like the Colts, right?
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
I think okay. It's a good comp. It's almost a perfect comp, except for I think the Colts.
Tight end's better for the Giants.
Offensive line is much better for the Colts, which is going to affect a lot of the
plays a
fantasy.
factor. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Colts can be argued either way.
I was gonna say maybe D, but I feel like Saquon makes it like is a clear separator from the Dolphins.
Headliner is Wayne Gallman.
Yeah, Brady says headliner is Wayne Gallman. Yeah, I feel like the D tier is for teams that have like pieces you're interested in, but no superstars. They've got at least one superstar in Saquon Barkley, and then another very fantasy relevant piece in Evan Ingram.
And you can mention Sterling Shepard, Slayton. Yeah.
Would Jets not fit into that category though?
Jets?
Are you interested in Denzel Mims?
Mims. That's just about it.
That's it. That's why they're in the F tier.
Yeah.
So that's why they're down in the F tier right now. I think the Giants are a C as well. Probably like a high end C, but
I do too. But I was thinking about it, and like the Redskins, shoot. The Washington football team, Ricky Butt said it. J.D. McKissick, leading all wide running backs and targets. Antonio Gibson had a great rookie season. Terry McLaurin, one of the best wide receivers in terms of talent in the NFL, just can't be exploited because it doesn't have a quarterback throwing the ball. Logan Thomas was the 3rd overall tight end in PPR leagues. Are we undervaluing them? Just real fast. Say no to me so we can get past this.
The QB is a huge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Subtraction.
Leave them there.
I'm just looking at the tier above them, and I can't imagine. I think they fit more with the teams right there than they do with the Bengals, Bills, and Cardinals.
Yeah,
you're right.
At least that's how I'm viewing it. The Jaguars. Josh, you want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, James Robinson. I love him. Their wide receivers. This whole team is up and coming. I think we can basically say Trevor Lawrence is going to be in this team, which is going to make it weird and probably going to throw them back into the C tier.
Yeah, I think that's the only like incoming rookie that we can really like consider here because we're pretty certain.
Yeah, we know what's happening there. Even the Jets, you don't know if they're going to go Fields or Wilson or Lance. You've seen other talks about that, but Jaguars, it's pretty clear where they're going with the 101. So I think we can't consider that. Jason LaVisca, I feel like B's too high, but they have a lot of interesting pieces.
The C tier is going to be loaded.
They're a low C or
because
with Trevor coming in. I don't know because I like Tua too. Not much as Trevor, but like.
But then there's like DJ Chark is better than I would draft him over all the receiving options on the Dolphins.
Well, and I draft James Robinson over all the running back options.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. C
tier.
C tier is
getting stacked. We got the Detroit Lions. They've got DeAndre Swift, Jared Goff.
Joking, they're good. This is
maybe
weird.
What's the latest news on Kenny Golladay?
I literally just answered you. I said Trevor's the only one we can count because he's the only one that we really know where he's going to go.
It's the only rookie we know.
Tim doesn't want to hear logic, JL. I'm just letting you know.
Shut
up. He's not gonna listen to your logic. Ricky says they remind me of the Broncos with a better quarterback and less tight end.
That balances each other out, kind of, right? Huh?
Right.
Or was he talking about the Jaguars?
I was thinking of the Jaguars.
I think he was talking about the Jaguars.
That would make sense. Not less tight end. Quarterback's not better. Yeah. Jaguars. For the Lions, we're about to get weirder. My initial thought was D, but they're not. DeAndre Swift is going to be highly drafted. Kenny Golladay is still there, and it looks like they want to re-sign him. And he is a top-flight wide receiver. They have a top-flight tight end. I'm actually almost considering a B for them.
I think a C for Detroit, just because Jared Goff is a downgrade at quarterback compared to what they had last year for their wide receiving options, for their tight end option. But they've got Hawk, which is
I think there might be a D. I think they're right there with the Dolphins.
Hell no. DeAndre Swift is drafted in the 2nd round. Kenny Golladay is going to stay there most likely. They're talking about franchise tagging him.
Swift's like the one saving grace.
Hawk is better.
I know, but I know he's better than Gesicki, but like not such a considerable jump that I
want to put more teams in D. I do.
I just worry that team is going to fall apart.
I'm looking at the Eagles up there. I'm like, do they really deserve to be in C?
Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert. That's why I've got them in C. Scott thinks Detroit is an F. He's over the moon on it, not even close. So this is for fantasy value, like how good they are for fantasy. And I think having DeAndre Swift on that team alone makes them not an F. Like they're not on the Jets level solely because of DeAndre Swift. But then you had other pieces like TJ Hawkinson is a valuable piece for fantasy. Should be a good tight end next year. That further removes them from that F tier. So I don't think it's an F. I think it's probably a C tier team.
Another C.
All right.
I think it's a C too. I really do.
Ricky was talking about the Jags here.
Gotcha.
Okay. Perfect.
Return of the Gazelle.
Finally,
D because wide receiver uncertainty in
That's
Detroit.
what I was thinking too. But Swift does sort of bolster that
He's
team.
gonna be a second round pick. Like
yeah.
In redraft and dynasty, I think.
Scott wants to know why are the Dolphins at D? Gaskin, Gesicki, Tua, and maybe Parker. It's because there's no real like headliner. Like Gaskin's at best in RB2, Gesicki's a low end tight end 1. Tua, there's question marks about if he'll develop further, and Parker's at a wide receiver 2. Like they've got fantasy options, pieces you want to look at. But no, like if you look at all these teams up here, Colts have Jonathan Taylor, George Kittle, Allen Robinson currently, or David Montgomery. We've got Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant. There's more names that you're just like a little bit more excited about on these C tier teams than on the Dolphins.
I agree.
Ricky says I think he was talking about the Lions. They have to be with the Colts. Same concern, similar second round running backs, but you can actually start more Lions than Colts. Okay, We are on to the Green Bay Packers.
Thank God, not a C. I'm hoping they're not a C. That's how I view them.
Aaron Jones makes this interesting.
Well, I mean, as of right now, Aaron Jones is on the Packers, right?
Yeah, they're talking about maybe tagging him.
So I think we address it that they've got Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and then even behind Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, Robert Tonyan.
AJ Dillon was the second round pick in the NFL draft. They're a loaded team in terms of top tier fantasy talent. I talked about it last week, and I almost want to put them in the S tier, but it's A minimum for me.
Z2 agrees with you. Yeah, I'm between A and S. I'm between A and S because I view Rodgers as less than Mahomes. Devontae Adams, considerably less than Mahomes. Devontae Adams probably above Tyreek Hill, but it's close.
Yeah, same.
And then Travis Kelce way above Robert Tonyan. So I think
so we're at running backs. Yeah, Aaron Jones.
Aaron
Jones is higher, right?
Yeah, Aaron Jones is higher.
It's considered.
Yeah, I think there's an argument for S tier, but I feel best about putting them with A with these other teams there.
I would go S.
John Luke.
I would go A, mostly because of the QB stuff. Is like the type of the type of quarterback that Mahomes is. The fact that he's a running quarterback really helps bolster a lot of the production from the rest of the team. Whereas if you go and look at like Rodgers, his value oscillates, right? Because he's more of like a touchdown guy. And so, I don't view them in the same tier as Kansas City, but I think they're an A. I think they're solid A.
I agree. Josh, you've been outvoted. Green Bay's going in the A tier.
In my mind, they're S.
We got some disagreement around there. Ricky said S. Brady said there's an argument for S. And Scott says KC can't be an S for sure. The reason we put KC in S is they've got players at at quarterback, tight end, and wide receiver that very well could finish as the top of their position. There are very few teams that have players at 3 different positions that very easily could be the number 1 player at that position. Nobody would flinch if you released your rankings and Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill.
I would say 4. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to have a much better year. Not number 1, but he will be a running back number 1 in my mind next year. So look out. I'm overhyped on him.
So Casey was exposed in the Super Bowl. Again, this is not how good the NFL teams are. We are not ranking or tiering how good these teams are. We are tiering how good they are for fantasy. Yeah. So the pieces on the teams, how good they are for your fantasy team. This isn't saying Kansas City's the best team or that Detroit's better than the Dolphins. We're just ranking the fantasy pieces.
Yeah. So the Panthers.
So we've got Christian McCaffrey obviously coming back. We don't necessarily know at quarterback what they're going to do there, but it was Teddy Bridgewater, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel's likely gone, Robbie Anderson. So DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Christian McCaffrey. unknown at quarterback, and then tight end is pretty much a wash there. With
I'm
Ian
willing
Thomas.
to put them in the B tier.
B?
I'm willing, yeah.
I think Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, like those three pieces together is enough to push them up there.
The fact that Christian McCaffrey is like the number one overall by like everyone kind of like who disagrees with me. Whoever's out there that thinks Christian McCaffrey shouldn't be the number one overall pick, let me know. But that's really what sums it up for me.
Yeah, the QB thing really gets me here. And I, as much as I love DJ Moore, him and Robbie Anderson, I view, where production wise, we're really along the same lines of some of these C teams and what we got.
I wish they had a tight end. Yeah, they might deserve belong in the C, maybe.
I think they're a C team.
I think they're a B team. I think Christian McCaffrey plus those two high quality receivers push them into B.
Okay. I like B.
Just because, I think Christian McCaffrey holds a little bit more value. He's the number one overall.
Scott would take Alvin Cook over Christian McCaffrey.
Alvin Cook over Christian McCaffrey. I would not. I would take. He's also saying he would take Adams over Tyreek Hill and maybe Diggs next year. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'm not saying Hill is.
Adams over Hill.
I'm also taking Adams over Hill. This isn't me saying like Hill over Adams. Just that it's a unique situation in Kansas City. Ricky says B. Yeah, I think the Panthers are a B team. That's where I would put them.
I like
the Patriots. Okay, so we've got Cam Newton. We've got
Damian Harris, Sony Michel.
Are the Patriots an F?
They might be.
Oh,
like who are you drafting ahead of Denzel Mims on the Patriots? Damian Harris?
No.
They're at F too.
What the hell happened there?
I didn't realize this actually going in.
There's nothing I'm excited. I think the Patriots are an F and we can move on.
All right.
Let's go.
That's wild.
Wow.
We
got Patriots F easy. I'm in New England. The Pats are an F. F for the Pats.
I'm glad we could agree on something.
Everyone's all in agreement. Yeah. Scott, we've been trying to get an agreement. We got one right there. There we go. The Las Vegas Raiders. He says Jacoby Myers is their best receiver. The Las Vegas Raiders. So we've got Josh Jacobs, Henry Ruggs, Aguilar's gone, Darren Waller, Derek Carr.
They're C or B.
Brian Edwards. They're probably a C team.
C.
I think.
Yeah. C.
Yep.
They remind me a lot of like
all the other C teams.
I mean, it kind of looks like the Lions. Know what I mean? Like
more receiver depth, but less like top end talent. A better tight end, similar quarterback, probably a little bit better of a quarterback. Yeah,
probably put them above the Lions in the same tier.
Yeah, me too. I probably would too.
We got the Rams now with the addition of Matthew Stafford, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers, Tyler Higbee, Gerald Everett. I think they're B as well, just with the number of options you have on this team that you can draft. Joe, what do you think?
I think B is fine. I think B is perfect.
Could we make an argument for A? Z2 says A. Ricky says C with B potential.
I think an argument could be made, but I couldn't do it. Not with what we have so far.
With Stafford, I think you could definitely make an argument, but I don't know that I would put. You know what? I think I would. I would put them above the Bills, right? Like they got like Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp are both. It's two solid options. Neither of them are better than Diggs, but like the Bills have one. Just Diggs really.
And Josh Allen, that was part of it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put them above the Bengals though.
I think B. I think B is where they belong.
Yeah, I would put them right between Bengals and Bills.
We can do that.
Not that the order matters here yet. But.
We've got the Baltimore Ravens up next, Josh. You gave us a little bit of a rundown earlier, but Lamar Jackson at quarterback, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards at running back if they keep Gus, Mark Andrews at tight end, and Marquise Brown at wide receiver. The big weak point is obviously wide receiver.
D or C. I mean, that's right. Like if you're talking about like the Dolphins comp, like J.K. Dobbins is really the main.
So J.K. Dobbins is going to be drafted in the second round. Myles Gaskin is going to be drafted in like the 8th round.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a giant difference there. That's the highest person drafted.
Well, and then Lamar Jackson over Tua, and then also Mark Andrews over Gesicki. Like it's at three separate positions.
Over Devontae Parker too.
All right, you convinced me.
In my mind,
I I think B.
I think B, but I don't want to be biased. I
am a Browns fan, and I think it's B between Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins. I think that pushes them into the B tier.
All right.
The New Orleans Saints. If Drew Brees is coming back, he's been working out. But let's look at Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Adam Troutman. They let go of Jared Cook, so we got Adam Troutman season coming up.
2 guys.
So they've got 2 really stud players, which makes me think of like the Bills. Know what I mean? Yeah. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas had a down year for sure.
Adam Troutman, tight end number 1. Z2 coming with hot takes. They're a B team to me.
If we knew more about quarterback, I would be tempted to throw them in A with the rest of these guys, but they're like a top of the B, low A.
Honestly, you could go C, I think, with them. With how Michael Thomas actually played last year, Alvin Kamara is really the only like certain asset on that team at this point, in my mind. But I'd like to expect the best out of Michael Thomas at this point. I think he is an elite receiver.
Yeah, Scott thinks Saints are a C. Ricky says B. You have to look at the fill-ins if these guys are out. What do you think, JL? C or B?
I don't know. I've been going back and forth. The QB thing really throws me off.
I understand that, JL.
Yeah, honestly, that might put them in C, but I feel like Kamara and Michael Thomas. Trying to see the comps here, like the Colts. I love JT. But I think I would, Michael Thomas is much better than Pittman and Paris Campbell. I think I'm gonna go C. But,
C.
But you guys both went B.
I think it's B. Josh, what did you go?
I went B.
Okay.
Matter, but
so it is. We're gonna put it in the
right
B
on
tier.
that line. If they get a QB, then everything reaches.
You're right.
Brady said, can't believe the Ravens aren't A.
Sorry, just Jameis Winston. It could make them A class because he's going to be a great fantasy quarterback if he's the starter for them. I think.
Yep.
Brady says Henry and Chubb led the league in 20-yard rush plays. The next 3 are Lamar Jackson, Dobbins, and Edwards. That is a fun Ravens and AFC North trivia. Next, we've got the Seahawks. So for the time being, I guess we just assume Russell Wilson's there. But we've got Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. Chris Carson's likely gone, right?
Likely.
But we can look at Chris Carson.
No tight end really to speak of.
If Russ is there and we've got Russ, DK, and Tyler Lockett, plus Chris Carson, like the way it was this past season, that's a B team to me. But there's a lot of question marks right now. Like, will Russ be there? Will Chris Carson be there? Like, likely not.
They're a B team.
They're a B team. I think we have to assume that Russ is going to be there for now.
I saw where you were going with that, and I was between A and B, and I saw where you were, so B.
Okay, we can. The Steelers. They got the wide receiver trio, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and Juju Smith-Schuster. Running back's a bit of a mess right now. James Conner, but Benny Snell, Anthony McFarland. But then they've got Big Ben at quarterback, and it's really those wide receivers that are headlining it.
And Juju might be gone, right?
Yeah, if they lose Juju, they could jump down to a D tier, But I think they're C.
John Luke?
Yeah, I think C.
I agree.
C.
Yeah, I think C as well. With Connor not being relevant anymore than Juju likely being gone. The Houston Texans.
You might put them in a D. I'm like thinking about it too, honestly.
If Juju's gone, which is semi-likely,
and
Deontay Johnson and James Conner is a free agent too, right? Is that true?
No. Deontay Johnson will be there.
And
they have Chase Claypool, Eric Ebron's fine. Big Ben.
All right, C's fine. Yeah, I kind of forgot about Claypool for a second.
We got the Houston Texans. I'm under the assumption that Deshaun Watson is not playing for them. He's made it clear that he doesn't want to, that he will sit out. So that's what I'm going to go into this under the assumption as.
If Deshaun Watson's playing, they're still a D in my mind.
So they've got So Will Fuller's gone, right? They'll have
D or F.
Is Brandon Cooks going to be there?
It's D or F in my mind. Yeah, Brandon Cooks, I think, is going to.
Brandon Cooks, Kiki Kuti. Is David Johnson coming back? Didn't he just sign a deal with them? So we've got David Johnson, which is fine. Probably on tier with like Myles Gaskin. Know what I mean? Like as far as like where you're drafting that guy.
The mighty have fallen.
I think they're a D.
I think they're a D as well. We've got the Tennessee Titans. Now this one is interesting. You've got Ryan Tannehill, AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, Jonnu Smith. Like
Jonnu Smith's gone probably.
Oh, is Jonnu gone? There we go.
Yeah, so
is Corey Davis and Jonnu probably. They're free agents.
So then
God thinks Texans was an F. So, but AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill.
And if Sean was definitely gone, they're probably put them in F.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's likely, so I would probably put him in an F. But
you guys want to move him to F?
No,
let's do it. But we do want more D teams.
Maybe the Dolphins will just be alone in the D. The Tennessee Titans. We may not have time for our fruit today, guys. If we finish this up. The Tennessee Titans, like I said, AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. It's really those three guys, but it's like an elite player at two positions, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, and then a very solid quarterback, like a really good fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, solid. Yeah. B.
Tempted B.
It's close to A. Yeah.
Tempted to put them in A. With AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, and Ryan Tannehill.
I think B. The depth isn't there.
They're a higher B team.
They are. They're a higher B for sure. But I think it's similar to the Bengals. Bengals has more depth.
Yeah.
Okay. Our last team, the Minnesota Vikings. JL, you want to give this a little breakdown on these guys?
Sure. We got little Kirk Cousins.
I know where I'm putting them.
Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. Who else am I missing?
Dalvin Cook.
Alexander Madison. Irv Smith now. No more Kyle. Sorry, Kyle. I think I would put them in.
I think they're an
A. Maybe B.
I was thinking A as well.
I think they're an A with Jefferson, Thielen, Cook, like just those three.
Cousins even too, and Irv Smith with them getting rid of Rudolph. They're A.
There we go. There's our tier list of NFL teams for fantasy. I'm gonna save this, guys. I'm gonna put it out there. As the season approaches, I think we should do another one of these. Like after the NFL draft, all this things settle, free agency's over.
Yeah,
we can do another one and kind of compare what this looks like. Jay thinks the Vikings should be an S.
It went through my mind for a second. Justin Jefferson,
two positions.
His breakout.
I feel like they could be, they could have top guys in two positions. I could never see Kirk Cousins ever finishing in like as QB1 on the season, and I don't think Irv Smith is going to get close to that.
The Packers are ahead of the Vikings in my mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think Packers, Vikings, Bucks, and Cowboys are all sitting there like on the precipice of S for me. Like they're kind of above the Browns and the Chargers. But the Browns and Chargers are above these other teams in the B tier for me.
If there was like an A1 class, we would move those four teams up, I think. But if
there was an A1 class,
I guess an A1 and A2 class, I meant to say.
Z2 said if I don't know why I almost said Grandma Bay. If Green Bay didn't reach S, then Minnesota could completely agree. Jay's pissed that we didn't put him in S. He said Vikes are S, better RB. And then Jay, sorry, I skipped.
Better RB.
Sorry, he disagrees with you. 2 wide receiver ones, the RB1 potentially, back end QB1, high end QB2.
I don't think they have 2 wide receiver ones either.
Me neither. I think they've got a wide receiver 1 and a wide receiver 2.
Yeah. We're splitting hairs there, right?
Kirk is a solid QB2.
And Kirk is, a solid QB2.
Jay, stop trying to convince us you're not pissed.
Number 1 running back.
Whoa, Jay, calm down,
dude. Relax. Just calm down in the chat, Jay. Guys, I know you guys were all super excited about the fruit tier list, but I think we're gonna have to skip it today. Me too. Just so you guys know, bananas suck. I knew that was gonna be the biggest contention point, and that's where I was gonna fight. So I just want to make sure everyone knows here the bananas are a trash tier fruit.
Honestly, I'm happy we didn't do this because I would have gotten
that negativity.
Bananas are by far my favorite fruit, and man, Simon and I might not be friends anymore if we did it. So
Brady said red delicious apples are F tier, Honey Crisp are S tier, mango is
Brady
also
knows what's up.
Yeah, Red Delicious. I don't understand why Red Delicious apples are like the standard for apples because they're literally the worst apple. There's no apple worse than a Red Delicious.
It's like grainy. I don't get it.
It's awful. Like it's not. It's a weird flavor. It's not very strong.
Mashed potatoes and tried to turn it into a fruit.
Tyler says he fucking hates bananas, and he's always right.
He's always right. So I changed my mind. Bananas are gross, I guess. I thought they were good, but
come on, we could just skip to the fact that pineapple is going to win.
Yeah, pineapple's S tier.
Honestly, pineapple is S tier.
What's your favorite fruit? Before Josh, you said banana. Ricky said, I want to see friendship spontaneously combust live.
You came to
it's
the
like
right
a must in smoothies. You know what I'm saying?
Joe, what's your favorite fruit?
I just said pineapple.
Oh, pineapple's your number one. Mine is cherries. Black cherries are so good.
I go,
Ew.
I can't buy cherries because I eat too many of them.
Oh, I will never stop. However many cherries you put in front of me is how many cherries I'll eat. And I'm not talking maraschino. I'm talking like real cherries. I'll eat infinite cherries.
Pineapple, though, is the best fruit. I would be willing to agree to that.
Tyler says, you know what pineapple does? Or have you not spent enough time at Tyler's late night
I know what it does.
It makes your cheeks go like this.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I don't. Yeah, okay.
We'll get into fruits another day. This sounds like a contentious topic. I knew it. Jail was like, really fruits? And I was like, no, we're gonna fight about fruits. I guarantee you. People have strong fruit opinions over here. Z2 coming in with strawberries are F tier. Like that's a hot fruit take right there.
Bodily fluids. Apparently, pineapple can help improve the taste.
Gross.
Like that.
Earwax. Yeah, pineapple will make your earwax greener.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that's what he's referring to. Okay, Josh.
I want to hear Tyler's pineapple story. But anyway, I wanted to say something real fast. Trading makes fantasy fun because it does. And I love trading. You should too.
And guys, if you enjoyed watching us break down the tiers today, whether you agreed with us or not, we love having the conversation in the chat. We love it when you guys come in here and talk with us. If you want to go back and watch what we said about these teams from this week or last week when we did the first half of them, you can find those videos on our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy and also on Twitch at Front Yard Fantasy, or you can follow us on Twitter at Front Yard FYF, where we post links to our streams every single day. We're live at 3 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday.
Every weekday.
We'll be back tomorrow. Unless you guys got anything else to say, we are out of here.
Trading makes fantasy fun.
Trading makes fantasy fun. I love you guys.